Hey,
Hi, Kelvin. How are
you.
you?
Good. You?
Amazing. I'm well, thank you. All is good. It's amazing to speak to you today. Congratulations on your starring role, the whole lead role now.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I,
right?
I remember speaking to you from Cyrano and seeing the part you played there, and now you're leading role in the new Stephen Williams film, Chevalier, and it's an incredible story about Joseph Bologne. Help me pronounce his last name. I want to make sure I get that right.
I say Bologne. Some people say Bologna. Yeah. I mean, it depends
Belonging.
on how French you want to get.
Exactly. I really enjoyed the movie, and again, it was just amazing to see you leading and just obviously following your journey as well, and also the topics of the film. I loved your co-stars as well, and one thing that really stuck with me was the opening sequence. And I do remember from previous conversations that you were saying that you do play the violin, or you have experience in music from your family background going forward. How was that opening experience for you?
I think it was still tough coming into it because I was like overwhelmed by how my dad's a classical music teacher, and I asked him, I was like, dude, like I have to play these some of these like concertos and like these
Mhm.
all these like music pieces at like six cues in the movie, and he was like, oh really? And he was like, how much time do you have? I was like, well, I got like 5 months, and he was like, listen, it takes 6 months to teach one of my students one concerto. He was like,
Yeah.
"So best of luck." But he laughed, and then he quickly got into game mode and proper dad mode and was like, let's find a system. So we went back to the fundamentals of how we used to practice when I was a kid. And it was like 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, just being really diligent
Mm.
about it. And starting off slow and steady. He's like, because if you start off slow, it's your muscles will know where to go and then you can pick it up. So that was the task.
That's sound advice. I love that. Amazing. And you were playing in that opening sequence as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Round of
Insanity.
applause at one point. So good. Amazing. I wanted to know what else inspired you, because maybe the experience of your dad being a classical musician, but who else inspired you behind the characterization of Joseph?
Stephanie wrote during that opening sequence in the script, it said it's like if Hendrix and Clapton were battling it out. And so I immediately was like, okay, let's tap into Hendrix and let's see what I want to pull from him. And then Steve and I had a conversation and we both were like, but it's really like Prince. He's like Prince because the way they describe Joseph in the few entries that exist was like his androgyny and how much of an enigma he was and how he was very bold and confident, you know what I mean? And he also did not, he had loose lips. He definitely had a sly tongue. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, this definitely is giving our guy Prince,
Yeah.
a little
I love
petty, super knowing who he was, and just constantly playful with what his characterization of himself was. So yeah.
I love the boldness that the character portrayed as well. As you said, reference into Prince. Love Prince, especially as a musician. Yes, that's a great one. Are there any like life lessons you can take from portraying Joseph as well?
Yeah, I think for me, it was what I love about this story is so much about how your individuality is your secret weapon. It's the
Mm,
sexiest thing about you, it's the most sophisticated thing about you, and trying to assimilate to any culture, really, you gain nothing from that.
yeah,
And so I embrace myself fully, and what I offer is pretty epic. So and that's yeah, yeah. I love that about this story.
in what way are you embracing yourself now more?
Just not so much, I think especially as an actor, I think it's so easy to want to become other actors. Everyone's
Mm,
always like, well, whose career would you want to like become? And it's like
yeah,
no one's, really, because I am me and I'm from New Orleans and I started in music and all these, I've had my own experiences going to a Jewish private school and meeting the people
mm,
along the way. And I think all of these things, all my interests, all my traumas, all the things I like to celebrate make me an interesting performer and
yeah,
makes my take on characters unique. I'm still going to do the research. I'm still going to bring the technique into it, but it's what I bring to it that brings a person alive because I'm breathing. You know?
Word,
So
I get that from everything that you played so far. I definitely get that individualism. Like, yeah, it's amazing and very inspiring as well. I'd love to know, like, what advice would you give to young Black, brown people pursuing music or classical music?
oh wow. Wow. Um, just don't. I think it's so easy to when you're in that space, you want to diminish how much of a rock star you are. Even though you may believe it, you sometimes want to play like you're a little bit nerdier or you're a little bit shyer because you're not, the pop star. No, come out there and like they're epic. What you can do, no one else can do. The way people that shred a guitar and
Yeah,
act. You need to act like that. You know what I mean? So I just encourage them to see themselves as the epic rock star that they actually are, instead
yeah,
of trying to project what the haters are to kind of giving them.
yeah. I just have a few more questions before we go. I wanted to like, because like in order for me to get into character and like what I do in theatre and stuff, um, period style costumes they play a major part in getting to the process. And I'd love to know how effective that was for you in terms of getting into character with the costumes. How
Yeah.
was that?
They're so fun. Like costumes are everything. Like you just said,
Mhm.
costumes are everything because it's one thing. Because like I remember being in like my dressing rooms during pre-production, and I didn't have the costume on yet, so I was just kind of in my jeans. But then I
Yeah,
had to kind of I had bought a shoe that had a little bit of a heel on it because I knew that Joseph would have one, and it just changes the walk. And then
yeah,
you start to put on the wig, and it changes the way you hold your head. And then you start to put on the jacket and the clothes, and it changes the way you move your arms and the way
yeah,
you hold your hands. And I think all those things started to kind of incite, the flamboyance of it all, but
yeah,
also the sense of how the mask that you put on in order to be perceived a certain way. How do I want these people to see me? I'm sophisticated. I'm wearing a gray wig, which means that
mm,
I'm up in this tier of French society. Those things. And when I take it off, how does it make me feel when I feel a little naked? Do I feel
natural
more?
hair.
And when I put my natural hair on, am I confident in it? And do I actually feel like, whoa, I feel more rooted when I have my cornrows in now? So all those things, it changes the physiology of your being as a character.
Incredible. Round of applause. Honestly, incredible. And again, like everything that the film covers, like the inequality, the battle, the theme of choice as well,
Yes.
and all of those. Oh, yeah, I love that, and I'd love to get more into it, but we have run out of time. But yeah, again, congratulations to you, and I'm excited for it to be released and for you to continue to soar high and to just be you. And I mean, honestly, I love that from what you said today about finding your individuality and not being afraid of that and owning it. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for reminding me and us of that as well, to everyone that's watching.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
talking to me. It's always nice to talk to you.
Okay, always. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you again for sharing your gifts.
You as well. You as well. Hope to see you in person.